booktube, it's Stephanie. Today I'm going to share with you my April TBR. So this is kind of like part 2 to my overall TBR for April. So because in April we have the owls, and for the owls I will be reading these 12 books, short story and manga. So if you're interested in seeing more about these, you can just click the link down below for that one. But yeah, so these are the 12 that I will read to fulfill those prompts. So in March I started off having a really bad reading slump after finishing up The Gilded Wolves, which yeah, it was not fun. But so yeah, basically my plan was to try to, for the BookTube SFF Awards, my plan was to focus on science fiction and debut, and then also read fantasy, the books for fantasy. I have completely disregarded the fantasy books because there's overlap in the debut and sci-fi categories, so I can read less books but both in 2 categories. So yeah, have I read any of those books? The answer is no, because way too easy. So as for currently reading, I have here Den poetiska Eddan. I did not read anything in this one last month, so there's that. I'm also still listening to A World Without Heroes by Brandon Mull. As I said, I was in a huge reading slump and I can't listen either when I'm in a reading slump because I just don't feel it. I'm about, I don't know, an hour and a half into it. I'm kind of unsure. It's something like that. I have not really listened at all this month. So it's being rolled over to April. Then I'm not really halfway through this one, and this is In the Hand of the Goddess by Tamora Pierce, the second book in the Song of the Lioness Quartet. And I have mostly been reading this on the train to and from work. And yeah, it's slow going because it's not as long of a train trip as it were to my former job. Basically it's the exact same job, I've just changed clinics, so it's not that. But yeah, it's easy to read and it's fairly short. This is one that I might just decide to finish up before April starts, because as I'm filming this is the 29th of March. So technically this might show up in my wrap-up. Don't know yet. But yeah, I'm liking it so far. Alana has grown up more in this one and things are happening. The only thing that I find kind of off-putting is that I don't really have a sense of how long it has been since the end of the first book and this one. Some things has happened, but I don't really feel like I have a clear image of that, and just because of that, it says that in like the first chapter and my brain didn't pick it up. But because I do think I started this during my reading slump, so that might be why. But I am liking it so far, and yeah, I will finish it. And then I finally started The Grey Minder by Melissa Moore. This, when I pick it up, it's easy to read. My biggest complaint at the moment, I've only read the prologue and 2 chapters, I'm on chapter 3. They are ridiculously short. The chapters are ridiculously short. I think chapter 3 is 5 pages, and that's like, wow. I'm on page 16. Yeah, but paranormal, fantasy, yeah, I do think that the premise of this, in the way it's built up, is fairly unique. I don't still get why this won the horror category. This was not just nominated for horror, it won the horror category. Okay, fine. And then we have the body read. This is so good and it's my choice, and I was just, after The Gilded Wolves, I'm so happy that I picked something good. And that is The Shadow of What Was Lost by James Islington. This is a self-published novel and it was published 2015, and then Orbit picked it up and published it traditionally in 2016. This is so good. If you feel and crave some adult fantasy without any of the childish behavior that are like exaggerated, because I will show you that they are teens. Pick this up. This is such a palate cleanser after the Gilded Wolves. It's I'm really like enjoying this one. It's hard to say that we're following one person because it's a multiple POV book, but it starts with we're following a guy called Davian, and he goes to this school that all the gifted get sent to so that they can train up their use of essence, and they are basically kind of like slaves. People hate them, people despise them after a war that took place 20 years before the events in this one. And I'm just getting more and more interested in what happened 20 years ago. I have no idea. But this continues to surprise me. It continues to just be, I have no idea where this story is going through. I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea where this story is going. I have no idea who the bad guy is. I assume it's someone, but I don't know, because I'm halfway through it. I have no idea who, like, I'm rooting for the persons that we are following, because since we are in their point of view, we are not as, like, they are the kids. They don't have this same past as some of the elder characters have, and they don't have the same amount of secrets. I have no idea where this story is going, and it's very, like, I'm loving this. Please pick it up. The third book has come out, and I think, yeah, it's a trilogy, so it's the last book is now out. This is so good. Pick it up, read it. This is good fantasy, and it was self-published. Great job. So now we come to the other books, the books that I will really cram in between my house TBR and finishing these off, except for Den poetiska Eddan, because if I finish it, great. If I don't, well, there's another month. But so all these 4 books are the BookTube SFF books for debut and fantasy. The first one being a memoir called Empire by Arcade Martin. And I'm actually, I hit the reading slump, and after having my loan out from the library an extra week of overdue fees, I had to return it, because during that week I had like read 15 pages, so I couldn't motivate myself to keep it for longer when someone else waited for it. So I basically purchased it. But I was about a third in. Yeah, about a third in, and so far so good. I would definitely say that if you're primarily a fantasy reader, this is very accessible for you, because it gives me the same feelings like a fantasy would, except this is sci-fi. We're talking planets and space stations. And so far I'm really liking this one, and this will be the first book that I pick up as soon as I'm finishing up with some of these, because I'm feeling a little bit fatigued is the wrong word, but they all like fantasy or fantasy based, so I do feel like I need to pick up some sci-fi. And I'm a third through it, so there's that. And then we have Gideon the Ninth by Tamsin Muir. Yeah. Want to read it. Need to read it if I want to be able to vote for anything. So yeah, this is on my TBR. Don't really know what else to say. That was awkward. Keep it in. Then we have the last two books on this list. The first one being Recursion by Blake Crouch, which is nominated for the science fiction category. And this one deals with memory. It's, from what I've heard it described, and be quiet phone. I thought I had to turn it off. Basically this deals with memory and people losing their memory and or having their memories being manipulated. I pronounced that wrong, whatever. And a lot of people really like this, so hopefully I will too. And they, because I don't know them personally, do say that you fly through this, and this is out from the library and someone else wants it, of course. And then we have the last book in the debut category for the BookTube SFF, and that is The 10,000 Doors of January by Alex E. Harrow. And this is about a girl who finds a book that pulls her into different worlds. It's gotten great reviews and a lot of people like it. I have started to hear some mixed things, but this was already on my TBR. I think I said that in my shortlist reaction video, that a lot of the books were already on my TBR, which did not make things easier. But yeah, this is the last and final book that if I read this, I can vote for the debut category. But for me to be able to vote in any of them, I need to finish up, let me just put this here, I need to finish up A Memory Called Empire and Gideon the Ninth. Then I just need to finish one of them to be able to feel like I can vote in one category. So yeah, I'm feeling slightly overwhelmed, but there's a reason why my BookTube SFF were so condensed into short stories. I do tend to, let's be honest, usually my alls TBR end up like that, but usually I have more novels in it from the beginning. But I didn't feel like I could push in any of these books into the BookTube SFF, into the owls, so I decided just to go as small as possible. So yeah, what's your reading plans for April? Are you participating in the owls, or are you reading for the BookTube SFF Awards? Please tell me down below, and I will see you next time. Bye.